When you get laid off, it doesn't just affect your job. It affects how safe you feel. It affects how you see yourself. And it definitely gonna affect how you look at money. Because one thing nobody really talks about is that you can do everything right and still end up starting over. And that's exactly what happened to me. And what I learned about money during this time, honestly, it's changed how I plan to live the rest of my life. And I'm gonna share that with you today. But first, we're gonna have to take a look back. Hey guys, I am Shani, and this is my Unexpected Life Reset series where I'm sharing what it really looks like to rebuild your life after 50, not the polished version, not the highlight reel, but the version where you are figuring things out in real time. And today we're going to be talking about money because losing my job forced me to confront some truths that I didn't realize I was avoiding. And I want to ask you guys something before we go any further. I want to ask you two questions. One, I need to know what y'all think of this new color that I'm wearing. I'm trying a new color. I'm not really sure if I'm sold yet. I've worn this color before, but I'm not sure yet. But I need y'all to drop down in the comments and let me know what you think. But I need to know, if your income stopped tomorrow, how long would you feel secure? How long? And don't rush to answer it. I really need you to think about it because I thought I knew my answer until life tested it, and it tested it hard. You know, before I got laid off, I thought I was doing everything right. I had the job, a steady income, a 6-figure salary, my bills were handled. I was able to do things I want. You know, from the outside, I looked stable. I mean, shit, I even felt like I was stable. But here's what I didn't realize. I wasn't secure, I was comfortable. And there's a big difference between the two because comfort can disappear overnight. Security is supposed to hold you when things fall apart, and mine didn't. And that was tough because I want you guys to remember, I'm 51 years old. I come from a time where you go to school, you get your degree opened the doors to better opportunities, and they find a company that you can work with and you retire from and you work your way up from there, right? I always looked at working 2 jobs was working too hard when you could find one job that's gonna pay you enough. Because honestly, when I was growing up, 2 jobs meant going from your corporate job to like a side job, meaning like maybe I'm going to work in retail or maybe nursing part-time. That's what it meant. It didn't mean working online or making money easily. It didn't come that easy for us back then. And so my mom always had the philosophy of that I don't want you to work as hard as I did because she always worked 2 jobs. I want you to work smarter and better. I want you to find one job that's going to pay you enough to fund your life. That's what I want you to do. And that's what I did, which is why I thought I was doing everything right. But this next realization, this one, I think is what hurt a little. I want you guys to hear me loud when I say this. A job is not security, it's access to income. And the moment someone else controls your access, they also control your stability. That was my first wake-up call. Not even my wake-up call. I think that's what slapped the shit out of me. It's when I realized that my job is not security. This thing that I've been raised to believe that was your security, because back then jobs used to be secure. People used to stay with jobs 30, 40 years and retire. But the climate changed, the world changed, things changed. But I was still in that mindset, oh, this job is my security. I got this job, I'm 6 figures, I'm top of the food chain now. I'm good here. I'm gonna ride this one out. That was what I was thinking. But I realized that it wasn't stability for me. It was just access to income. And it smacked the shit out of me when that access was gone. I'm going to say this again because I need this to land. A job is not security. If that makes you feel uncomfortable, then good. It should. I'm glad. Because you need to get out that mindset that this is your security. Because as soon as we lose one, it's like, oh, I got to find another one, which is true. Find another one. You want to pay your bills, but it's not secure. It's not secure because I just wish I understood this sooner than now at 51. It would have saved me so much more time. So we've been taught that a good job equals stability, but nobody talks about the risk of depending on one source of income. Nobody talks about that. And I think the reason why people don't talk about it is because we don't go into jobs looking to be laid off, looking to be forced into retirement, looking to be fired, or maybe even looking to find another job. We go into thinking that, oh, I got this job. I'm stable now. This is that false sense of security it gives us. I'm stable. I can pay my bills. I can do what I need to do, and which you can. But when that one source disappears, everything feels like it's collapsing all at once. And that's what it felt like for me. I felt like everything just started collapsing. And I had to sit with this question. And you might need to ask yourself this too, if you're going through a layoff or you experience a layoff. Ask yourself this question: why did I build my entire life around one source of income that I did not own? Why did I build my entire life around something I don't own? That question changed how I think about money moving forward. And I hope it changes how you think about it as well. Because when you don't own it, it can be taken from you at any moment. And I'm not just talking about traditional jobs. I'm talking about social media as well. We don't own these platforms. So these platforms can be taken from us at any time, which is why we're like, always think about multiple sources versus just one. Because the more you have, the better chances you have of things not falling or collapsing around you. And so I realized something that every woman over 40 needs to hear. Real security isn't one paycheck. It's options. You need options, sis. Multiple ways to generate income for yourself. Multiple streams, multiple opportunities. That is the way we have to start thinking, because when one slows down, another one can support you. It really can. And that's when I stopped thinking like an employee and started thinking like a builder, someone who builds things and owns things. Even if you're working right now and you're watching this video, that one stream that you're using right now, that one job that you love so much, it's not enough. Because once it's gone from you, then what you do. And let's not even talk about savings, because we're going to get into that later in this video. But once that's gone, then what? What picks up from there? So this is why we have to really start thinking about multiple streams of income, multiple ways to make money. I'm not saying you just have to do everything with content creation or online. These things make it easier to make money, but there's other ways to do it. If you're that person who want to get a second job, then do that. But what I'm saying and what I'm trying to preach to women over 40 is that you have to start thinking about multiple streams, not just one. And I know you're probably thinking, that sounds good, but where do I even start? Stay with me, because the next lesson I'm about to talk about is where everything shifted for me. Now, I used to think that saving money was the goal, and it should be the goal. My mother always told me, if you get $1, put half of it away. You want to save for a rainy day. You want to save for things that happen in life, major shifts. You lose your job. You want to save. But here's what I want you to think about, because don't get me wrong, it matters. But here's what I've learned. Saving money without income coming in is temporary security, because eventually you're going to start seeing that number go down. If you can't find another job right away, if you can't get into another opportunity right away, you start seeing that go down. And that feeling is stressful in a way that I really can't explain it unless you've experienced it. Because when you see your money start going down and nothing is coming in to rebuild that account, you begin to stress out very much, very much. But here's where I had a mindset shift. I just didn't need to protect my money by putting it in savings and putting it away. I needed to create it. I needed to create it consistently and intentionally, and in ways that didn't depend on a job. It was ways that were outside of your normal 9 to 5. And then I started thinking about systems, not just survival. Because soon as we lose something, we jump right into survival mode. We jump into the mode of, I gotta get something. When we're not thinking about systems, things that we could put in place that can generate income for us easily. We're just thinking about getting another job. But the mind has to shift and think about, how do I create something of my own? And nobody says it's going to be easy, but still you need something of your own that can bring in money when that one thing fails. So let me ask you this. Do you currently have something that makes you money without you having to show up every single day? Do you have something that's working in the background for you that's making you money every day while you sleep? Something that is on autopilot, that you don't have to work, you don't have to show up every day, you don't have to clock in, clock out, but something that's making you money easily and effortlessly. And if your answer is no, then this might be your sign to start doing that. To start looking into ways to turn your experience, your life lessons, all the knowledge you've gained over the years, the skills you know, into income. Because that's what you need to do. I think one of the biggest shifts for me was realizing this. I already had value. I already had skills. I just never saw them as something I could own. Because normally we are taught to attach our skills to a certain job, not to build income streams of your own. Now, this is where things begin to start shifting for me in real time, because I started asking myself the question of, what do I know? What can I teach someone? What can I create? And what skills can I give other people to learn? Which kind of led me into content creation. Even when I decided to say, okay, I'm going to start doing content creation a little bit more seriously. I was already doing a podcast where I was interviewing entrepreneurs, women entrepreneurs, and talking to them about their journey and what it takes to be where they are and how successful they are. And that kind of led me into content creation. But even before I got into content creation, there still was I'm always a student of the game, right? I'm always a student of content creation. So I wanted to learn content creation, method, strategy. I wanted to learn how they build income streams because I wanted to know how I can build income streams for what I already have. Not starting from scratch, but starting from the experience that I already own, the life lessons that I've learned, right? The value that I can add to someone else's life. How can I create content around that? And so I started asking myself those questions, and then eventually you begin to answer the questions because at first you might not know. You really might not know what you can offer, but then you realize I do have something to offer. I do have a lot of things that I've learned over the course of my career, of my years on this earth that I can teach someone younger. And that's when it all started to make sense for me. Now, this last lesson, I think is the one that really changed everything because at the end of the day, it wasn't just about money. It was about how I thought about money. And people talk about mindset and our thoughts and everything and how crucial they are. And this is so true because I had to unlearn the idea that security came from a company. I really had to unlearn that because I was taught that all my life, that security comes from the job that you hold, the position you hold, how long you stay there. That's your security. That's how you're going to pay your jobs. That's how you're going to grow. You're going to grow with a company. You're going to stay there and you're going to retire. That's what I was taught. And I had to unlearn that starting over didn't mean that I failed because I felt like a failure. And I'm not gonna lie, some days I still get up and feel like I failed at things, right? Because things are not coming together so quickly like I want them to. But I had to unlearn that's not what that is. And I had to start believing into something new. And that new thing was that I could build stability on my own terms. Not to say that it was going to be easy, but it's something that I can actually do. I just have to be willing to believe in myself and to take the steps to do it. And so if you are in a season where everything feels uncertain, I want you to hear me clearly. I know it all might feel like everything is falling apart. I felt like that for a long time. And some days you're going to wake up still feeling like, shit, my life just fell apart, right? We're going to feel that way. It's just human nature. But I want you to think of this. I want you to think that maybe this could actually be the moment where you build something stronger than you ever had before. I'm not telling you not to go look for a new job. I'm telling you to remember that you need multiple opportunities, not just one, more than one, because I don't want you to depend on one paycheck. You don't need to depend on one opportunity, but you need to build something that is yours, something that belongs to you, something that is just not attached to someone else, because when it's attached to someone else, then they hold the power. They determine your stability. And we're not working from that angle anymore. We're thinking about multiple ways we can create income. A job is just one. Being on one platform, thinking this one platform is supposed to fund your entire life when this platform can demonetize you, be taken away from you, that's not what we're doing either. We're thinking about multiple streams because when one thing falls, we need something else that can support it. Now, if this resonated with you, I want you to stay connected to this series because I'm sharing this journey in real time. This is me rebuilding my life in real time. These are my thoughts. These are the things that I'm learning along the way, and I decided to share. But I want to hear from you. I want you to let me know in the comments, what is this season teaching you about money? Because it has taught me a lot about money. It has taught me a lot about my life and the things that I'll do so differently now going forward. My mindset is different. How I approach things are different. And I want you to remember that you're rebuilding smarter, not harder. And understand that when you try to step into something new, when you try to create something of your own, you're going to be judged by people on the internet. You're going to be judged by your family, your friends. And I want you to remember that the only reason why they're judging you is because they could not see themselves doing something like this. So of course they can't see you doing it. But stay positive. Come join this community over here where we support each other on our journeys because I know you can do it. And as always, I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I'm going to see you in the next one.